Okay, folks, good afternoon. April 28th. It's Wednesday. Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday. Oh man, I gotta look at the calendar again. Heat's coming on, I'm getting a little tired. I'm checking my stats, checking my viewership, looking for comments. Not getting many of those. I had several viewings, haven't busted the 500 mark, and I don't know how many videos I have up there. The videos, I consider them rich. The stream of consciousness leads to some different kinds of thinking, and I try to reveal facts to you. I realize I've got so much to share with you that I might as well just go with a stream of consciousness and get this stuff out there and just leave it up there. I don't mean to offend, but political correctness offends me. If we can't have an intellectual argument, a logical discourse, then we can't grow. We can't even talk. We can't share ideas. And political correctness is what I believe is described in two of the major prophets in the Bible. Yes, I'm big on the Bible. I want to sell a lot of Bibles. I want to get some Bible readers out there. I also like this Navage system quite a bit. If you want to keep your nose clean, if you want to minimize your discomfort, that Navage system has helped me a lot with the pollen this spring. It's helped me with the dust as well, and with whatever it is they're spraying us during the night. They're mostly spraying us during the night. They also have some invisible contrails or chemtrails, whatever they are. They're doing it to us on purpose. They've been doing it for a long time. They purposely do stuff to us that they shouldn't be allowed to do. I'm going to start my new series. I plan upon getting a third sponsor. Actually, it'll be my second sponsor. The Navage just gives me a referral code. I get a commission on that. I'm not representing them. Certainly not through one of their major advertising agencies. And they have plenty of big names backing them up and big commercials. I think it's a good device. I think it's wonderfully described. Didn't like the idea too much at first, water up my nose. I didn't like that as a child. It cleans things out really well. Sometimes it works real good for me. Other times I need to be over the sink. I always have a paper towel, not a napkin and not a Kleenex handy, but a solid heavy-duty paper towel, so I can blow my nose and clear my sinuses and everything out of the excess water. And I can let all that happen over the sink. So far I'm not messing my clothes up with it, but I do need to be over the sink to catch it. Third sponsor, I'll make a call and get proactive on that. I've already sent a letter. I don't know if they'll let me represent their products. I'd like to, because I think this gives you a way to improve your health significantly, or I wouldn't do it. I will be visiting another physician in early June and maybe getting a workup sooner. And if that's the case, I may try to get a relationship going with that fellow. I first got to buy the services myself and pay the full price just to see what it's really like before I just consider putting my name behind anybody. I know I've been promising to do this new series, and it's going to be called What a Prospective Sugar Baby Needs to Know. I'm not joking by that. I realize it's going to be clickbait, and I realize that there's a good chance that it's going to draw some attention to me that's unwanted, and some people will likely be offended by it. I'm hoping that you all can tolerate me, and I'm hoping nobody complains, but that might be the ultimate test. And if you see me completely gone, you'll know why. I've saved the videos. I will go to another platform once that happens. I'm just kind of lazy, and I haven't mastered loading this stuff up to other platforms. So And that will take me some time because I want to review things and put it up. Probably use Rumble. I'd like to use OnlyFans. Yeah, right. No. A dog trainer shows up with an OnlyFans decal on the truck, and it's a joke. And so his wife gets a lot of looks when she drives around. Everybody cranes their necks trying to catch a view of this OnlyFans star, you know. Anyhow, the sugar baby world is a different kind of world. I really do want to help women. However, I don't want to cater to you. I think you need a reality check. I think you need to be disciplined. I think you need to actually be told the truth. And so I'm going to give you the truth and the hard facts. And you may find it offensive. I hope you don't find it totally intolerable and you have to make reports, but if you do, you do. I'd rather you made open comments, since comments are allowed. And if I see your comment and feel a need to respond to it, that's fine. You can also go to my blog, givingpsychologyaway.com, and you can contact me through email, through the blog, if you desire. I'd rather you revealed who you were than stayed anonymous, but I think that's coming to us anyway, that there's not going to be anonymity on the internet much longer. Why do I want to do what a prospective sugar baby needs to know? I don't support the endeavor. However, there was a tradition that seemed to be okay, but culture war is raging in all fronts, and so the culture war has been hitting that as well, and these women are being lied to like crazy. They're overvaluing themselves and yet at the same time undervaluing themselves. So you have these two extremes where they think they're, well, I got to be careful what I say because I know you'll report me if I say things like, okay, I'll censor myself on that. But I really need you to understand that we need to have honest dialogue. We need to get these ideas out there. If I'm wrong, show me up in the comments. I don't mind. Do some research. Do more than what I've done. I don't mind having you on air either. I'm not inviting that too readily because it gets kind of weird, and I don't even know how to run the software and all that stuff to make that happen. But I'm all for it. I miss the universities that I went to. Those were not politically correct. There was open dialogue because the other side was preaching tolerance, and we tolerated their asses. And today, they're waging war. So if you want to wage war back, I suggest a couple of things. I suggest you take over the school boards and dominate them. Do not be kind and do not tolerate them. Do not coexist with them. Run their asses off. They're trying to destroy your children, and they're trying to destroy you and me. They want us gone. It's a community effort. Barack Obama, the famous community organizer, he'd be proud of it. The idea is to sow as much dissension as possible so they can cause confusion and get us at each other's throats. I'm not for open discourse anymore. I'm all for dominating and putting them in their place and getting rid of them. They did the same thing on the psychologist boards. The liberals dominated those. And if you didn't want to think like them and be politically correct like them, they ran us off. They didn't tolerate us. So I'm proud of the way they went after me. They cost me my health. They cost me my job, my position. They cost me my license. They cost me my ability to practice was impeded because of those jackasses on the board. Gary Lovejoy in particular, who I used to tease and call Gary Loveboy. I was under the influence of an errant female. Now, females, you can get away with stuff like that. We men can't. So to tease the guy and call him Loveboy instead of Lovejoy, well, that was kind of a low thing of me, and I really don't take any honor in that. But that son of a bitch was on the board, and they voted twice to restore my license, and he got in the way both times. Why? Because his governor's ass was on the line. I didn't realize I'd crossed swords with the governor, and that governor was Governor Janet Napolitano. And the problem was that Napolitano's husband, wife, the person she's legally married to today, she appointed to a cabinet position underneath her. And under Arizona state law, that's a crime. But people were too homophobic to call her out on it. So she got away with it. She got away with taking the money from ADOC that the governor's office gets all the time. Yeah, corrupt as hell. The governors pull big bucks out of DOC. That's not a fair deal. That's for another day. I'm working on taking care of myself. We are going to talk about marriage. We're going to be talking about biblical standards, the old Sikh standards, the old, the old Sanskrit records, the old writings that were basically on technology of what was the best way for human beings to behave, the best way to exist. So it's going to get real rich, and it's going to be clickbait, and the numbers are going to go way up. And I'm going to introduce that with this show. I'm going to introduce that series. It's going to be in the title. So I'm getting ready for that big move. I ask you to like this, to share this. Leave me a comment. Make it a comment of substance that indicates you're actually listening. Make it a comment so I know you're not just out there to harass and to go after people. I don't trust anybody. Should you trust Dr. Kent? Don't take me at my word for it. Research everything. Look into it yourself. I'm not responsible for your education. I don't owe you anything. I paid dearly for my education. So go do your own research. Put some skin in the game. You can take things a lot further than I did, and you can find out the exceptions, or if I'm really missing something big and bad, you can educate me. I love correction. I embrace it. Some of it gets a little bit painful, yeah, but okay, so one gets a little butt hurt, but it's better to get your butt hurt and grow than it is to carry on ignorant. And most of you are ignorant. All of this society, we've been lied to in every inch of it, every bit of it. You can't believe these things that they told us about our own history. You can't believe hardly any of it. You can't even believe what they call science. And you certainly can't believe what they call psychology. It's very biased, and it was used to help take this nation down, and they're still working on it. They're still trying to take us down. We haven't recovered enough of a base to take a good, firm stand. We are not strong enough to recover our republic. Our republic went away, and there's several key dates on that. And that's not for this video. Again, we are going to be talking about women, how you can market yourself, since that's what you want to do. You want a transaction. You want a fiduciary relationship. That's what you want. You are objectifying yourselves, and you want to cash in. You want to cash in big. And I don't blame you. I can't blame you on that. But you also aren't valuing yourself very well, and you're not looking at the total lifespan and the total cost of investment, the return on investment. You aren't looking at that. And so in your short-sighted nature, you are cheating yourself, because at age 32, you hit the wall and you're going to be alone. And men aren't going to take you seriously unless you're willing to hook up and deliver on the first date, or not even on the date. They're just going to want to drop by. You started it. And even those OnlyFans models have got problems later on. Even the supermodels have problems because they can't get dates with the men that they think they deserve. Men are driven to go after women of childbearing age, no matter what the man's age. And you peak at age 23. Age 22, actually. If you don't get things resolved by age 23, then you're marketplace value is dropping, and it drops rapidly. And at age 28, you still pull a bunch of shit on the guys and you think you can get away with it. And I really hope there's a woman named Kaylee who listens to me, because she's 28 and she's caused a lot of problems with the father of her children. And if she was a smart woman, she would suck it up and do all she could to make that marriage go so she could keep that beautiful family that she started. But unfortunately, there's always going to be some dumbass son of a bitch who will super simp to her, tell her how wonderful she is and how she deserves everything, and how he was lousy and no good for her because he didn't deliver her the world and wouldn't cave to her. You women want to be protected. At the same time, you pull the rug out from underneath us. I don't think we're going to be defending you anymore. I certainly wouldn't go to the rescue of a strange woman today, because there's likely to be more trouble than she's worth. I also don't care about dating today, so if you're coming at me and saying you want to be my sugar baby, I ain't in the market. You know, if you come at me and say you want to be a wife, you're going to have to really do some convincing to get this old ass off my seat, because I'm not budging for you. I mean, I'm even get to the point where I'm resistant with these sweet girls in the Philippines. I just realized they're a better predator, they're better armed than you are, because you gave up your value and you gave up that sweetness you had that was so endearing that we couldn't resist you. This feminist movement did you in. It did not empower you. It actually demeaned you, and it took away from you, sadly. So let's hope that What a Prospective sugar baby needs to know that series, and may it be a long series, may it last, and may I not get canned over it. But you young girls, you parents that have daughters, you need to hear this stuff. You need to know what you're up against. You need to know what your daughters are up against. And stop watching this Disney princess crap. I mean, that's the most unreal stuff ever. And we men bought in it too. So we got a problem as well. Remember this, ladies. Where there is no respect, there can be no love. And so all these vendors, these corporations that have the dumb male themes, the smart woman themes, stop patronizing them. Make them give equal time to being smart. They need to beef up men. By large, if you want to end criminality in our society, you got to shore up one man in particular. It's not the white man either. It's the black man. He needs to be empowered, emboldened, and he needs to be head of the family once again. Fatherless parenting is the cause of criminality. It's not merely correlated. It is the only cause of criminality. And you women that figured it's best to marry the federal government and take a check and make the federal government your husband, you're doing yourself and your family in. You're doing your people in. If we want to cut the crime rate down by, let me think about this, half the crime rate done by 12% of the population, you shore up, and so that the black family's intact and the black child has got a real father present in the house, I think you can knock the criminality down by 30 to 40%. Now, is that something you want? Is that a good outcome? Is that something you're willing to invest in? Are you willing to share a little bit, actual equality, or actually put the man in his place and make him do his job? Are you going to support him? Or are you going to get in the way? Are you going to undermine him in front of the rest of the world? Are you going to embarrass him? Are you going to disrespect him? Are you going to start going to physical blows? Are you going to start the battering? Yeah, your number's up, baby. And I know who does most battering out there. And all those studies have been suppressed because they don't support the narrative. And so you people who have mixed marriages with foreigners, you also have a high level of violence. You got to make sure they understand the language. And the sad thing is that the women you bring to this country get Americanized and they get spoiled and they lose their sweetness. Bunch of lies are what we're being fed. Who's the biggest publishing house on the planet? Who's the biggest publisher in the world? The CIA. Yeah, most of those magazines and periodicals are CIA. Most of your news guys are CIA. Most of your Hollywood are CIA. Remember, they can make all the money they want, and their budgets are unlimited. And half of that money is off the books. So they're committing counterfeit. All that money that's above the books, that's only half the money that's being spent. So we're enslaved. Land of the free, home of the slave. This is not the free world. That's their bullshit brainwashing. You aren't free. Under Yahweh's law, living according to the natural law under Yahweh, you can be free. You can have liberty. You have to be responsible, though. If you're not willing to abide by Yahweh's laws, then please don't watch my videos. I don't want you. He doesn't want you. You're hurting your country. You hurt your families. You're hurting your children. You have to agree to abide by the 10 Commandments, or I don't want you watching my channel. I don't need you. We are going to take this place over. Eventually. That's what I've been calling for and calling about. That's going to happen. We are going to have Pax Americana. We are going to see our flag flown over other countries. Once we restore our republic and we actually give the states' rights back to them, and we put policies and policing in charge of the states, and we have our state militias, so we have self-rule once again, these other countries are going to want to be part of it. They'll buy in big. You won't have to sell it. We'll be the example. But our founders gave us the perfect model, and we have screwed it up. They wanted a true society built on wealth. If you've got wealth, you don't have to go to war. But it's built on debt. It's built on credit. So you're stuck with going to war. And you're illegally occupied by the enemy, by a foreign power. These people came from the seas. They survived the last Earth Age. They come from Polynesia. They brought us their language. The Paleo-Hebrew alphabet was their alphabet. All right, folks, I've gone long again. I apologize for that. My name is Dr. John Taylor Kent. I'm a retired psychologist. The last thing I worked in was corrections. My subspecializations were systems, family systems. Before that, it was industrial organizational psychology. And before that, it was neuropsychology. And so I worked across the field in a broad fashion. I subspecialized prematurely. I found I preferred working as a generalist. I was brought up, supervised by 3 great men. One is a pastor in the bush in Alaska. Wonderful man. Helped me a lot. He arranged for me to do my internship in Mississippi. The other was also a minister, and he was a fine Southern gentleman, and he taught me quite a bit, and his wife was lovely, and she helped me quite a bit as well. She was a little rough on me, but my mom was real rough on me, so I didn't have too much of a problem with her. And then my final supervisor didn't want me at all. He was the brightest of the 3. I will heap accolades upon him. And he was training to become a rabbi at one point. But he didn't do that. And his position was one of helping people. Yes, he's a liberal, and he broadened my perspective and helped me to become flexible in my thinking and helped me to understand my own stuff quite a bit better. So I'm grateful for that. And he still talks to me even though I've been kind of loose at the mouth and I posted stuff that wasn't appreciated much. I'm hoping that I can get him to buy into this, because if I succeed on that, then I know I'm on the right track. If I don't, well, I'm going to do the best I can. That's all I can say. I miss all those fellows deeply. My internship was longer because they were very concerned about me. They had cause for concern. I was hobbled, I was humbled. I was poisoned like a lot of us are in this society today. It took me a long time to sort that out. I'm going to be seeking some pretty in-depth medical care because I'm afraid right now that I'm subject to their crap again. I think that bug that's going around is part of that whole deal. I had COVID really bad just before Thanksgiving. I'm still not feeling myself. The neurologist said that it was going to be a long haul. I'm worried I might not recover at all, so I'm going to be proactive. I'm not going to sit on my ass and take this standing down. So it means I got to raise some money up and put some resources to it, because these other physicians don't take insurance, and with good reason. They don't want to be beholden to this monster we've created. If you pray for me, pray in the name of Yahweh. Pray in the name of Yahshua the Messiah. I'll be covering why there should be no such thing as a religion called Christianity. You won't like it at first, but when you hear me out, you'll at least understand the rationale, and I hope you'll be accepting of the fact that I'm a Bible reader, I'm a Bible believer. I believe in the way. I believe in the faith of our fathers. Oh, and I identify as an Israelite, not an Israeli, not a Jew, but an Israelite. I know it's a throwback, and I embrace that wholeheartedly. I'm not big on this thing they call Christian identity. That turns me off. My two-seed theory is different from theirs. Their two-seed theory is that, there was good seed and bad seed, that's it. My two-seed theory is there's two different major branches of the bad seed. And there's a whole bunch of other seeds on the planet. And they aren't the problem, but the two bad seeds are the problem. And there's only one set of good guys, good seed, that's capable of taking them on. And that's why they're going after us. That's why they target what they call white supremacists. Now, I've searched for the white supremacists, and I find some oddballs out there, but mostly what I find are traps. FBI-backed and infiltrated traps set to trap us, who are real believers. It happened in Europe a few centuries ago. It was called the Spanish Inquisition. That went after true believers as well. So there is nothing new under the sun, boys and girls. And the bad guys seem to be worshiping the sun. And there are things about the sun we don't understand. Like this star right now that happened by caught us and took us away from our original sun. The original sun, I believe, was Saturn. And I believe Saturn gave birth to the inner planets. I believe that people on the surface of the earth watched Venus being born, coming out of Saturn and going into orbit. I believe that that is written on the cave walls. It's just a hunch. It's a theory. I don't espouse it as a fact. If I believe it's a fact, I will say so. And of course, you don't have to believe what I call a fact. You can research it yourself. You can challenge it. Remember that they've filtered most of the news on the internet now, and a lot of the good information has been taken down. I'd love to see it be put up again. I'd love to see free speech rights restored. But we don't live under the Constitution. And this is not America. And we are not the free world. We certainly don't lead or give any kind of leadership to the free world. We're stuck in a slave system. We have masters who rule over us. And at this point, they're trying to kill us off because we're waking up to them. And the gamma radiation is coming in, and it's activating us. It's empowering us. It's energizing the whole planet. And they're worried about you and me discovering the power we really have, our true natures, and taking them on and taking them down, which is also written in the Old Testament that that's what we're going to do. I'll cover that later for you. Good day.